Hey everyone, so let's begin about our predicting math function. So on an overview I will say that this is just an experiment that I am doing and I'm just documenting it so that others will be helpful, like others might find something good in this, and some of the curiosities that I feel the urge that others should be exploring out and they have experimented also. So I have just created a notebook just to
But
test
this
out the
notebook is
predicting
not for
capabilities
a
of the
beginner
neural net.
level.
Everyone should have understanding about the pytorch framework and deep learning concepts. So I will go through the code once and we'll start experimenting. This is the import part where we are importing some of the basic libraries that are being used as NumPy and pandas, then the matplotlib, and this is where the giant part comes for the torch imports. Okay. As Kaggle is being a very popular website and the learning platform among the deep learning and machine learning community, I believe that you all must be familiar with Kaggle. So what we're going to do, we will just enable GPU for us, and I think that yeah, it is set up. GPU is ready. This is a very basic step that I have made. I've used the iPy notebook feature about interact, and we can set the start point and the end point, and it will plot the graph using these values. I have used sine and cos, so the graphs are plot based on that. Okay, so this notebook is not fully furnished, but I'm going to go through all the things and the issues that I faced and what are the solutions that I have used. Okay, those guys don't know what this double question mark do. It actually gives the help and the documentation part of that function. So as you know, NN is used in torch.nn neural net, and we are using the linear layer, and it explains us about that, the document part. At this point we are going to develop a single layer model. Okay, it's single neuron, you can also say it's a perceptron, and we have set the learning rate to 0.8. Adam and SGD, there's a issue I faced earlier and I will show you that. So let's start with running the model. Okay, we started it. I have a function name as a linear function, so this is like our the main major function that what we are using. It's like mx plus c, the basic linear line equation. So currently I have posted it as a variables, the global variables as weights and bias. So next thing, we're going to load this. This TensorBoard summary thing is an experiment that I was doing on. It's very helpful, and I will cover it up in next video. Yeah, so we'll focus on the model part over here. At this point, we're going to train the model, and as you can see, it's a huge difference, and it's actually converging very well. So we can see that our model is learning, but the major part is the live visualization. So here I use the matplotlib techniques and Jupyter notebook features. So what we can do, we can see the model learning itself. Okay, so let's load it up. Okay, it will take time. We have our graphs ready. Okay, so let's start it and see how the model was learning. So this is the loss, and this is the visualization for what our model, the line the model was drawing. Blue is the model line and yellow is the ground truth. As more closer it will get, the more the loss will decrease. Okay, so what we did, we actually used 100 frames, so it actually iterated for 100 times only, and thus we get a model this way. So let's experiment a bit and we'll increase the learning rate. We'll go for 2, more than twice, and we'll see what happens now. Okay, again it will take some time in the learning part, in the training part. So this notebook will be available in the description also, and I'll be sharing this within the Kaggle. Feel free to experiment, as that's the main motive for our community. Okay, the graph is here, and let's start the video. Oh wow, so as you can see, the learning has increased a lot. First of all, it aligned itself, and then it's shifting the biases to get closer to that line. Okay, so that's how this is doing. Cool. So first priority is with the angle, because actually that's the one step that is, affecting the whole curvature of the whole line, and then the bias is actually just, shifting it linearly. Okay, so that's for that. um, Next thing is displaying out the values. To some guys, you might know that we can actually see the bias values that it has learned right now, and we can also see the weights. Okay, so you can use these values to plot the graphs in TensorBoard, and that's what I was doing. Okay, so now we have seen like how the model is actually prioritizing the weights upon the biases. Next on, we will, in our next video, we will look into the quadratic equations, how the quadratic equation is being trained with the model. And just to give you a glimpse, we cannot just use this linear equation to, and expect it to give a quadratic output and give the curves. Actually, we have to put in the quadratic values itself to generate the curvature lines. As you know, that with the deep learning, we only have a linear equation like ax plus b, and that's the overall matrix multiplication is going on in that way only. So if you want to plot a graph of x to the power of n, and n it's like a user defined variable, that's not possible within our model concept. So we'll see more on it in our next video. Thanks for watching.